What's up? I'm back again for more Goosebumps. More little shit kids in trouble. Let's get invisible! And the fucking tagline, now you see him, now you don't. So by page 1 of this book, I was like, fuck this. I was actually really, seriously, like, within, fucking, this is just, I went invisible for the first time on my 12th birthday. It was all Whitey's fault. It's about this kid, look at this, just look at this prick. This is the only Goosebumps cover I've encountered so far that was accurate to the book, mostly. The last one, Say Cheese and Die, pretty close, pretty close. This one, even closer. Look at this little shitbag. This Max kid is a little shitbag who's like always fixing his hair in the mirror and stuff. I wanted to shoot myself by page 2. Whitey is his dog, who's all black, super creative. His brother's name is Lefty. He's got a real name, but he only says it once. It's like Nolan or some shit. They call him Lefty because he's left-handed. Super important detail. This little buttfucker Max has a birthday party, and his friends come over, and I'm still just like, kill me. The girls want to play Twister at his party. The boys want to watch Terminator. I vote Terminator. Max wanted to watch Terminator. He has a shit fit. It's my birthday. Let me watch Terminator. That's how Max is going to sound from now on, by the way. It's been like 2 weeks since I've read this book, so I'm probably going to get it mixed up with like The Day the Earth Stood Still or some shit. Something happens. I don't know. They end up in the attic. And Whitey the dog is like scratching at these fucking boards, and they find a hidden door there, and it's him, Max, his brother Lefty, who's 10, Max is 12, in true Goosebumps fashion, and his friend Erin, who's a mousy girl that he has a crush on, this chick named April, who reminds me of Velma from Scooby-Doo, but less sexy, and his best friend Zach, who's the cool kid who has his hair shaved on one side, like half his head is shaved. His hair is combed straight on the other side, so he looks like a total douchebag. Okay, so they find this mirror in the attic. Blah, 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 bullshit, bullshit. The mirror turns you invisible at the end. There's more to it than that, obviously. So it's around this point where Max turns on the mirror and the kids all go home. I don't fucking remember. Something happens and Max turns, there's a light above the mirror. Per this picture, there's a light above the mirror, and it's just like a normal big ass fuck off mirror. And there's light, and you pull the chain on the light turns on, it's super bright, and you turn invisible. For real, real. I actually started getting invested in Max, because he stops talking about what he looks like, so you don't go, God, this kid's a tool every 5 seconds, and he's just saying, I, me, I. So I honestly got, I can't believe I'm about to admit this, pulled into the character in a Goosebumps book, imagining myself as a 12-year-old, which isn't much of a stretch. Look at me. Let me throw up for a second, and I'll be back. You start hating his friends because there's such a bunch of fucks. They start having invisible contests. But Max discovers that once you're invisible past like 5 minutes, you start feeling like you're floating and you feel like really fucking lightheaded and weird, and like the mirror is sucking you in, which is terrifying. I'm doing a shitty job on this review because I ate way too much Chinese buffet. I feel like I'm gonna vomit every 2 seconds. His grandparents come over, and this seems like a dumb fucking detail for me to put, but I'll get to it. Just fucking keep watching. Molecules, where the hell is it? So his grandparents show up for like dinner, and they're the biggest bunch of a-holes I've ever fucking met in my life. Like, they're the most stereotypical old people. Like, they get mad if dinner is a minute late, and all they do is talk about soup for an entire 10 pages and like bitch back and forth, and they're literally, like, they're nagging each other back and forth, and you hate them. You hate Grammy and Poppy. So Max, whoever the main character is, discovers that being invisible for too long is bad, and it takes a longer time to come back, because the way you turn uninvisible is you turn off the light above the mirror, right? Lefty goes invisible by himself and is like invisible for like 20 fucking minutes, and then he comes back and Max is like, were you okay? Did you feel weird? And Lefty's like, no, I was fine. So then you're kind of going, oh, what? Shit's getting weird, and like his friends are staying invisible for like a really long time. And they come back visible, and like something's different about him, but he can't figure out what it is. Max goes invisible, and he's trying to beat the record. Gets pulled inside the mirror, And he meets himself. It's his reflection. It's the flip side of him. And this fucking thing is creepy. And he's like, I'm trading places with you. Like, I'm gonna keep you here forever in this miserable, cold hell of a mirror. And your friends have already switched. So, like, yeah, there was something wrong with his friends. They were the fucking reflections, which is why they looked off. And, like, douchebag with the haircut, his hair was on the opposite side. So Max escapes. Somehow he escapes his reflection and comes back out of the mirror. And somehow saves his friends. I honestly completely forget how he saves them. I'm gonna have to look that up real quick. Hold on. When he fucking comes back after his reflection tries to butt-fuck him in the mirror, his friends, who are the reflections, are like, did you make the switch? Are you one of us? Did you make the switch? And he's like, yes. And they're like, bullshit, we're gonna throw you back in. This chick, April, who reminds me of Velma, is not switched yet, and she's just freaking out like a whore. Lefty, the little dumbass, throws the ball because he's playing around with Max, who's invisible, and he always has this fucking baseball. So he throws this baseball, and it breaks the mirror. And all their reflections get out. Then the book ends, and it's like, yay, our friends are safe. And Max goes to play catch with Lefty, and Lefty throws it with his right hand. It was actually pretty good. Like, you get invested in it, and you fucking hate this guy's friends because they're peer pressuring him to, like, play this game that he knows is dangerous, and he keeps trying to tell him. And it's not like The Last Say Cheese and Die, where it's like, no, okay. He's literally like, no, this is not a good idea. And they're like, what are you, a pussy? And they like, really... I went brain dead. Here's the creepy shit that I didn't think about until like an hour ago. Some time ago. So, you know the scene with his grandparents, right? Where his grandparents are all old and stereotypical. Earlier, he mentioned that this house used to be theirs. My thought is that they're reflections, and his real grandparents are trapped in the mirror. Because it never says that, but it does mention that everything in this house and all the stuff in the attic is all antiques that belong to the grandparents, which includes the mirror in the hidden room.
You made a kid cry.
I made a kid cry so hard. The mirror. Okay, right. So one thing I really liked about this book is it deviates from the whole pseudoscience Goosebumps bullshit that I've got up to now. Like, all the monster blood, it's cursed by a cat. What the fuck? Plants in the basement, it's a molecular phone booth. Cut my hand, now I'm a plant monster. What the fuck? It's an evil science camera that's cursed by witchcraft. What the fuck? They never explain the mirror. They never explain where it came from or why it can turn you invisible. And at one point, one of the girls is like, I bet it switches your molecules when you... And like right off the bat, one of the other characters is like, that's stupid. There's no explanation for why it happens. Thank God they got something right. Finally. They may have given me a douchebag character with shitty hair and his asshole cocksucker best friend with his fucking shitty hair and mousy girl and stupid girl and a dog named Whitey that's black and a brother named Lefty and dumbass grandparents, but at least they didn't explain the god fucking damn mirror. Let's get invisible. So Keith is gonna come back next week for some other travesty of a book. I think it's something about mummies.
That was the week before.
Oh, what's next? Keith is coming back next week for the next goddamn book. I think it's Night of the Living Dummy. Let's hope I'm right, because I remember that shit being awesome. That fucker gets to read it, and I'm stuck with stay out of the basement invisible time.